We all care about our communities and the people in them, but some go above and beyond the role of good friend and good neighbor. These are people who make positive change, work tirelessly for the benefit of others, and shine a beacon of light in their small corner of the world. We call them hometown heroes. When they see a problem, they fix it. When they recognize a need, they fill it. And when they hear a cry for help, they answer it. These are ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Their mission? To change the world. And these are their stories. Hello and welcome to Hometown Heroes, a special UMTV show that highlights stories of extraordinary people who make our community and the world a better place. I'm your host, Daryl Barnes. We begin with one of the most urgent problems in the United States, the opioid crisis. Over the past 5 years, more than 500,000 Americans have died from opioid overdoses, with the death toll increasing every single year. The crisis affects every city in America, and in Miami alone, more than 320 people died from drug overdoses in 2021. And one local group of heroes at the Miami Recovery Project is working every day to bring that number down. Anna Kuhn is at the Miami Recovery Project in Kendall, Florida, with more.
Daryl, addicts looking to get on the path to recovery often turn to treatment centers or rehabilitation, but the cost of private facilities are out of reach for many, and most public facilities have a waiting list of several months. Here in Kendall, this office park behind me houses a different type of program, one that isn't for profits and won't turn away anyone that shows up at their front door. Miami is known for its cocaine cowboys era and South Beach nightlife, and many consider it a major drug and party city. But the consequences of that reputation are more than just a bad hangover.
I started using at the age of 15. People didn't want to be around me. I didn't have any money. I had lost my job. The mother of my kid left with my daughter.
Every time I see someone that's like sick and suffering, I see myself.
As a person who has survived a suicide attempt, I also survived living street-level homeless in Overtown. I've been there.
According to the CDC, 107,000 people died of an opioid overdose in 2021. And after struggling to overcome his own addiction, Thomas wanted to become a part of the solution.
If you're sick with cancer, diabetes, or anything, you're having follow-ups for years. No questions asked. When it comes to substance use disorder, you go to treatment if you're lucky, and then good luck. There's no follow-ups, there's nothing.
So Thomas created the Miami Recovery Project, a recovery community organization. It's a program that links people with peer specialists, someone who can use their own addiction experience to help with the recovery process, instead of providing traditional clinical treatment.
Being able to have that one-on-one interaction with peers, really, the individuals that we serve, and just being able to see them evolve.
Since its creation 2 years ago, the Miami Recovery Project has served over 1,000 people, many of them more than once. Because unlike most treatment centers, people can keep coming back here for as long as they need. Plus, all their services are completely free to ensure that anyone can get help.
We have lived what you're going through, and we're here to support you.
We all in this office every single day are just trying to do a little bit better.
All of that darkness, all of that, there was a meaning and a purpose behind that. And I'm able to, be there for others as well.
The Miami Recovery Project also holds monthly Narcan training events. Narcan is a life-saving drug that will temporarily reverse the effect of an opioid overdose. And the FDA recently approved it for sale without a prescription. But if you want to avoid the costs of buying over the counter, the Miami Recovery Project will give it to you for free at all of their training events. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Anna Kuhn.
Anna, thank you. And another group of heroes in South Florida called the Miami Rescue Mission helps the homeless and people in need. The organization just celebrated its 100th birthday, and it is devoted to transforming people's lives by providing them with shelter, meals, life-changing residential programs, employment, and housing. And as Daniel DeVilliers shows us, the Miami Rescue Mission also helps change the lives of the heroes who work there.
Please page on the upper floors. Page the upper floor that we got guests coming up.
Alexis Chaviano is the case manager supervisor at the Miami Rescue Mission.
How you doing, my friend?
On a normal basis, he would oversee the status and progress of hundreds of men who have come off the street looking for a new life and a new beginning.
The clients, they respect me. They, it's like my voice is like thunder to them, But they see that my intentions are real.
And Chaviano is as real as they come because he can relate to his clients on a life he knows all too well.
It started, and I can still remember, this is the bed where I used to sleep in. The part. My first 2 years, I came here as a homeless person. I was a crack cocaine addict. My addiction was so deep, and I had lost everything. In my life, started deteriorating, and I spent 2 years in the street of Miami, living the homeless life.
And it wasn't until 2005 that Chaviano decided it was time for a change and began his rehabilitation at the Miami Rescue Mission.
At the beginning, the adaptation is, just try to get a freshwater fish and put them in salt water. I mean, it's water, but it tastes different.
The things that I learned with Alexis and with people here is that you address the problem. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. You keep the person, if they're willing, you make them change the behavior.
And Chaviano did just that. In 2007, he graduated from the rehab program, but it didn't take long for him to return. This time, however, he came on as a staff member, inspiring those in the program to overcome their own adversities.
See it when you see it hands-on, it gives you hope. If he could do it, I can do it. And that's what he teaches.
Alexis has dedicated his last part of his life to discipling people. Alexis is going to be remembered as a hero, as a person that turned his life around and was able to give back to people and help them get back on track.
And after 16 years of service to the Miami Rescue Mission, Chaviano just hopes that he left a lasting impression on every life he helped change.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if they can just remember that I care, that's more than good enough for me.
Reporting for UMTV, I'm Daniel DeVilliers.
Daniel, thank you. And just a little north of the Miami Rescue Mission is another place that welcomes hopeless people and homeless dogs. Sophia Vitello met with the founder, who many say is simply an angel. Sophia?
Behind me is Blue Water's rescue facility in Pompano Beach, which first opened its doors in 2015, is the vision of one former addict who says she loves to help people and animals. So she created a sanctuary to give both a second chance at life. Tiffany Scuraton is a lifesaver.
Overdosed over 30 times.
Restoring hope in those who fell in love.
I found the love of my life.
With a killer.
It's opiates.
There is no better feeling than getting to see the ones that make it.
The New Jersey native came to Pompano Beach 10 years ago with nothing but a dream and a supportive family. Tiffany opened her first sober living facility and dog rescue in 2015.
Hey, are you the happiest girl here?
Nick Schmittinger was client number one.
I was couch hopping, had nothing going for me, and she decided to give me a chance.
Tiffany's goal is to help addicts recover in an unconventional way, pairing them with dogs who were also forgotten. Travis Dibble is 13 and a half months clean.
Because there was days where I felt like using.
Thanks to a furry little sober coach.
I had my dog Emmy, and she would just know, and she would come up and give me kisses and let's play and take my mind off of that situation.
The dog is healing you, 100%.
Just as much as I'm healing her.
Some might ask why Tiffany is dedicated to helping addicts recover. A little over 10 years ago, Tiffany was addicted to heroin.
Lost, hopeless, had given up on life.
What started out as casual smoking with her friends
turned into a full-blown drug addiction.
So I want to know what that feeling was that you were chasing.
Not so much a feeling as much as wanting to not feel.
Tiffany spent a decade of her life using drugs to not feel. but it would ultimately be her Yorkie, Isabella.
When I wanted to give up, I couldn't because she depended on me.
And her dad's tough love.
The only thing I didn't cancel on her whole life was her medical insurance.
That would keep her alive. Tiffany knew this wasn't the life she wanted, so she got on her knees and said,
God, please help me. I can't do this anymore, and I can't do this on my own.
Tiffany would become a waitress, but she always knew her dream was to open a sober living facility and rescue dogs. Everyone told her it would never happen. But 2.5 years into her sobriety, she opened her first sober living home. And as the years went on, her dreams expanded to
172 beds, and we have anywhere between 12 to 18 rescue dogs.
The success stories grown from Tiffany's facility are endless. Every Friday, more recovering addicts tell their stories, how they are alive today, against all odds, because of an angel named Tiffany Skuraton.
If I don't love me, you've loved me. And that's the shit that matters.
Today, the Blue Waters Rescue Foundation has more than 170 beds in 8 sober homes across South Florida and 10 to 16 dogs at a time. Tiffany estimates that about 1,000 dogs that she has rescued have been adopted so far. But she says that even if it was just one, it still would have been worth it. In Pompano Beach, Sophia Vitello, UMTV.
Sophia, thank you. And Tiffany is not the only hero who gives homeless and injured dogs a second chance in life. Miami native Carol Caridad owns the no-kill animal shelter called Paws for You. Carol says she wanted to create a place for homeless animals after she rescued an abandoned puppy that was freezing and alone. But finding a place to host the rescued animals was a challenge. And at one point, Carol had to keep the dogs in a car lot to prevent them from being euthanized. Eventually, she took over a kennel and it turned into a shelter. Here, Carol and her staff take care of thousands of cats and dogs that are sick, injured, or at risk of being put down.
$85,000 last year just in medical services, and then about another $60 in just supplies, medical supplies. The numbers really show you where the donations and money goes, right? Little guys like you.
The Paws for You shelter opened about 15 years ago, and during that time, the heroes there have rescued and found forever homes for some 12,000 animals. For most people, adopting a pet is an easy decision. But how about adopting a child or children? What if they have special needs? Althea Castro de la Mata introduces us to one hometown hero who did not hesitate when the opportunity presented itself.
I'm blocking your view, and I'm blocking your view, and I'm blocking it, and I'm blocking it.
Meet Lisa Ray, hospital worker, a friend, and a mom of 2 beautiful little girls, Faith and Maya.
So every day is a bit surreal because they have a huge schedule and it takes an entire village to do it. So it's nonstop from the second I wake up to the second I go to bed. And even when I'm in bed, I feel like my brain is still ticking on things I need to do or things that could make their life better or challenges they need to conquer and how I'm going to figure it out.
5-year-old Faith was born with a brain injury that makes it difficult for her to walk, talk, and eat, which is why she eats through a feeding tube attached to her stomach. And 2-year-old Maya is a cardiac baby who still needs to go through 2 more heart surgeries.
It's also scary to know that if I love this child that much, how much I can get hurt because they are vulnerable. I have it in my head like every day that they could get sick and something could happen to them. I have never felt more pain than watching them suffer.
And Lisa has seen a lot of children suffer. After all, she's a physician's assistant at Nicholas Children's Hospital in Miami, which is also where she met her daughters.
I was contacted that Faith was needing somewhere to go because she was about to be sent to a nursing home. She was 22 months old. They told me that Faith was never going to talk or walk. And so I agreed to temporarily take her until they found another home for her. But before I even brought her home, I knew that I was going to keep her forever. Before I even met her, because they told me her name was Faith and she was coming home on Easter Sunday. Maya, I was at work one day minding my own business and everyone knows that I have Faith, and a social worker came down from the cardiac floor and asked me to go look at this baby that had been left upstairs.
After fostering the 2 girls, Lisa adopted them, and she does her best to overcome all difficulties and give Faith and Maya the best quality of life possible.
There are lots of foster children out there who need to be adopted. Don't set your sights that you have to have the perfect child. I had no idea what my kids looked like when I agreed to take them. I didn't know what race they were. They both had medical issues that I knew were going to follow them for the rest of their life. They're not a perfect little baby, but they're the perfect baby for me. I never imagined myself becoming an independent career woman, but it's definitely who I'm supposed to be, and I honestly don't regret any. The way I've chosen my life is the way it's supposed to be.
Reporting for UMTV, Amaltea Castro de la Mata.
And helping others is the goal of one former University of Miami tennis star who's organized a whole constellation of celebrities to do the same. Ethan Gainey has a story.
This is the University of Miami's all-time winningest tennis player, John Eagleton. He holds multiple school records, including best four-year win percentage and most doubles victories. So John clearly has the winning formula. But he wanted a way to share it with people who can't afford a private lesson.
Private athletic lessons can get expensive. I'm a hockey goalie myself, and when I used to take lessons, they would be at least $100 an hour. But take an in-person lesson on a basketball court, for example, with a pro, and put it here on your screen. Now that $100 lesson is $0.
And so, SportsEd TV was born. The company, which John co-founded in 2017 with sports marketing professional Robert Mazzucchelli, provides free, high-quality sports instructional videos from real pros to anyone around the world.
So we immediately said our two main things that would make us different are world-class coaches, guys like John who've been there, done it, coached at the best level, played at the best level, and movie quality production.
We wanted to be a trusted brand, so if you get on our site, you know, you have a Mark Strickland that's in basketball, Tim Hardaway that can vet the content so that we become the world's leading brand in education.
No, your ears aren't mistaking you. He said Tim Hardaway, the former Miami Heat legend.
Oftentimes the difference between athletes who really make it big and those who just don't is good coaching. And if we can make the best coaches in the world available to people for free, we know that we're going to see a lot of people improving.
And although the site's still pretty new, it's already seen tangible results. For example, newly retired high school tennis coach Steve Scotty started using the site a few years back to improve his team.
I saw some kids that could rally 10, 15 balls with topspin against the wall in our gym that couldn't before. The things that he's put together, these are all things you can trust, and these are all things that your kids need.
The gratification is in helping people get going, getting started, and improving their game at all levels. You know, sports is a massive social thing, and I think we have never needed it more.
Because when it comes to giving players of all calibers a real shot at getting better, John is always up for the challenge. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ethan Gainey.
Ethan, thank you. And John Eagleton is not the only decorated athlete who trains people for free. Ryan Marshall is here to introduce us to another hero who's serving the community one stroke at a time.
Well, Daryl, playing sports can be a great way to exercise and have fun with friends, but they can also teach players valuable life lessons. And here at the Broward Table Tennis Center, one former Paralympian is using her experience to inspire the next generation.
For many athletes, retirement is a time for rest. But for one former Paralympian, it's a time to give back. Therese Terranova has medaled in 3 Paralympic Games for Team USA. In the 1988 Seoul Games, Terranova won the gold in women's singles and team table tennis. But she was not focused on the glory. Instead, she wants to give back to the game she loves.
When I raised the flowers, it was for everybody. It wasn't me. For me to give back, it's incredible.
And Terranova gives back by coaching daily at the Broward Table Tennis Center. She coaches players of all levels, from amateurs to competitive players.
When I see them progress, it's such an honor for me. You know, when they get something and that look on their face, it's like, I feel it.
As a coach, Terranova teaches players how to play the game technically, but she also builds lasting relationships with everyone she crosses paths with.
Man, she's just a real nice person. She gives you confidence, you know, so that's nice.
She's taught me more than just table tennis, a lot more than just table tennis. She's taught me so many life lessons, and She's really come as a parental figure in my life.
While few things in life are certain, you can be sure Terra Nova will continue giving back and inspiring people through table tennis.
My last breath, I might have a paddle in my hand, I have no idea. But that would be okay with me. That would definitely be okay with me.
And Terra Nova is still coaching here weekly in Broward, where she currently runs the center and is mentoring some of the best talent to come out of South Florida. Reporting for UMTV, I'm Ryan Marshall.
Ryan, thank you. And helping people with disabilities around the world is the goal of One Florida organization that strives to change the community through faith, hope, and love. And at the center of it all is one well-known athlete. Justin Walkney has the story of this hero.
Once a year, hundreds of churches around the world, like the VU Church in Miami behind me, host a special event known as Night to Shine, honoring and celebrating those with special needs. The event is sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation and is open to anyone above the age of 14 who lives with disabilities. VU Church has been in partnership with the former Florida Gators quarterback Tim Tebow and his foundation since 2018, hosting the annual Night to Shine prom night to honor and appreciate those with disabilities.
Individuals with special needs, they can sometimes feel inferior to other people, or they feel like, oh, they have a disability. And it's like, no, they just have a different ability. And so I think that this night reminds them that, like, hey, you're not different. Like, for us, Jesus is our message here at our church, so we want to remind them that they're loved.
And while this evening was really one to remember for everyone involved, this particular pair surely will never forget the moment their lives changed forever.
When I turned around, my brother comes to me and saying to me, "Will you marry me?" I said yes. It was 100% yes.
For Stephanie Varela and her family, it was a pleasant surprise when her longtime partner Luis Espinoza proposed to her.
It's been a very special night, needless to say, and he's a very special young man. And of course, she said yes. What can I tell you? He's a great guy, and I just want the best for both of them.
Through this event, Night to Shine aims to bring light and exposure to the disabled community, and Gina Varela believes this has had a massive impact on the community's growth.
I think that disabled children and adults have a lot more services today. I think people are including them a lot more. I think there's a lot more unity. So for the future, I see a bright future because they have so many opportunities now.
And of course, Luis and Stephanie are grateful and will continue to look forward to their prom night each year, together as life partners.
Thank you, Tim Tebow, for making this amazing event for us. Thank you.
The next Night to Shine is scheduled for February 9th, 2024. And with this event growing in popularity each year, organizers hope Night to Shine will draw more volunteers and include more local organizations for partnerships to make an already unforgettable night even better. For UMTV, I'm Justin Walkney.
Justin, thank you. Another NFL star is working to improve people's lives in the Miami area. Former Miami Dolphins linebacker Twan Russell is giving back one strike at a time. Recently, the Miami Sports Hall of Fame held its 12th annual celebrity bowling event in Doral, Florida. And this year, they raised money for the Russell Education Foundation. The nonprofit provides underprivileged children in South Florida with free after-school and summer education. Over the past 25 years, the foundation has sent almost 20,000 kids home with lessons that they did not get in the traditional classroom.
We provide our kids with love. We provide them with educational instruction, and they bring all the passion, and our teachers stand in the gap and help them become the best version of themselves so they can go out into the world and transform it.
Each bowling lane at the event represented donations ranging from $500 to almost $2,000. And it was a guaranteed strike for kids who are looking for a little extra time with their books. The programs provide after-school instruction for students whose parents may work late and enrollment in summer literacy courses for students that qualify for Miami-Dade's free and reduced lunch program, a cause that the Doral Bowlers say is right up their alley. Well, if there's one thing that can bring everyone together more than sports, it's food. And then the owners of One Miami Food Truck serves their community in more ways than just on a plate. Claire O'Connor met with those heroes and the young people they help.
On a Friday night in busy downtown Miami, the cooks inside the Vibe 305 food truck are hard at work, cooking up meals like lamb chops and tacos. But unlike most food trucks,
Right here, brother.
the cooks here are still learning their way around the kitchen.
Instead of going outside and doing God knows what. I'm here doing class and working on the weekends. I'm not really hanging with the wrong crowd like how I used to before I got in this program.
Miami's only nonprofit food truck teaches more than culinary skills. It gives inner-city at-risk boys between the ages of 12 and 21 a chance to go from the streets to success. Over 500 boys have come and gone through the program since 2010, but there's one person who stayed.
She's Superwoman. All the guys love her, you know what I'm saying, 'cause what she did and her ultimate sacrifice to devote her whole life to the program.
She cares. It's not just about this. She cares about me like as her son. Thank her for that. And I feel like I'm at home when I'm not at home.
You only need one person to believe in you to make it. So I just try to be that one person for as many young men as I can.
Colleen Adams bought the food truck to invest in a new life for the boys. Most of them are referred by the Department of Juvenile Justice.
When they come in, it's oftentimes no one's ever asked them, are you okay? Or what do you need? How can I help you? It's always, the door is always open. My heart is always open.
It's good. It's going time. I can't teach a 35-year-old guy to come to work on time. I can't teach a 35-year-old guy how to stop drinking, don't go out partying, coming in late, have an attitude. Just follow me. But I can teach a 14-year-old that. I can show him how not to be the 35-year-old doing that.
Volunteers like Levi Rowe teach the boys that your past doesn't define you.
You know, you can look at this guy's record and say, okay, well, this guy's a record, he has these many felonies, but I see the part, his potential, what it could be.
What could be a life of success.
But I know for a fact I'm gonna finish high school, and then after that, I'm gonna see what I can do to better myself.
Sometimes all we need is a lending hand to help us get there.
I feel more confident as a person. You have people that want to see you succeed, want to help you. Changing your life around to basically be something that you'll be proud of.
In Wynwood for UMTV, I'm Claire O'Connor.
Claire, thank you. Heroes can come in all shapes and sizes, and they don't even need to be human. Maddie Schur is here on campus to introduce us to our next hero.
Exactly, Daryl. This here is Charlie. She lives right in the University of Miami Studio Arts courtyard. She's always available to help out some students and provide emotional support.
Class with a kitty might not be advertised on the University of Miami's website, but it certainly could be. This cat, Charlie, started off as a stray frequenting the Studio Arts courtyard, but she's quickly become a beloved on-campus pet.
The faculty and the grad students, largely in the ceramics program, are kind of Charlie's caretakers.
Charlie first arrived at the Studio Arts courtyard in 2014, and she's called it home ever since, with a rotating crew of students, faculty, and staff keeping her regularly vaccinated, fed, and of course, loved. But students new to the art department are always surprised to learn about their very own community cat.
Wow, what a beautiful cat. And thinking about that, it's a beautiful sculpture of a cat. And then she moves and says, what?
Art students have one of the most time-consuming course loads at UM. With the typical studio arts class running over 5 hours per week, many art students are also excited to take a break with Charlie.
I think she is probably one of the things that keeps some students coming back to the Studio Arts building.
Although many would love to take Charlie home for themselves, the art departments come to a mutual agreement to keep her at the courtyard, brightening everyone's day.
Students are more than welcome to visit Charlie whenever they'd like. They can find her right here in the courtyard, but most likely she's going to be sitting in the ceramics department around all these kilns. For UMTV, I'm Madison Schur.
Madison, thank you. And as you can see, there's definitely no shortage of extraordinary people and four-legged friends here in South Florida who go well beyond the call of duty to make the lives of other people better and to change the world. They are our hometown heroes. Thank you for allowing us to share their stories with you here on UMTV. We hope you're as inspired as we all have been. I'm Daryl Barnes. Have a good night and stay safe.